Julie, we're switching it up a little bit today.
I know, I'm hiding.
You're hiding. You're off camera.
I am. I didn't want to scare everyone with my pink hair just yet.
Yeah, you didn't feature or showcase the pink hair yet. The people want to see the pink hair.
It needs some touch-ups.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Did you do it yourself?
I did do it myself. It's way cheaper to do it that way.
How much does it cost to get your hair done professionally?
The way I do it, I mean, $400 plus tip.
Are you kidding me?
No. But I can do it myself for $80.
Oh my God, even still.
I know.
That's why I go to Great Clips with a coupon, $12.
With the coupon?
With
That's
the coupon.
Good.
Thank you.
You know, I love our Hey BigHead intro, but I think there was a different song that I wanted to hear today.
You know, I wish I had it synced up.
I'll sing it. Cougarlicious.
Yes. Everyone's favorite theme song, overtaking the Hey Bighead intro, is the Cougarlicious theme song. And the reason we're singing this is because we have the lovely Donna Joy with us from the Cougarlicious podcast. Thank you for being on the show, Donna. So excited to have you here.
It is fun to be here. Thank you.
Of
It's
course.
so much fun to be a guest.
I know the tables have turned.
Yes.
When's the last time you were a podcast guest?
The last time I was a podcast guest, you know what? I think this is my first time.
Julie, this is
Wow,
our first-
inaugural.
Yes.
Look at this. What a monumental moment this is. I love this for all of us involved. This is fantastic. I was on an episode of Cougarlicious a few weeks ago.
Cougarlicious Cub House.
Cougarlicious Cub House. I apologize.
That's right.
Cougarlicious Cub House. I was on the latest episode, one of the latest episodes. A lot of positive feedback. I got a lot of DMs saying it was such an incredible episode. I got to fit one of my favorite DMs I'm going to read right now. You ready for this, Julie?
I guess.
It says, "Dear Andrew, your episode of Cougarlicious was by far the best piece of media I have ever laid eyes upon.
No.
You were funny, informative, and the chemistry between you and Donna Joy was off the charts."
Well, I'll agree with that. That is definitely.
I agree
will
with that too.
Definitely give that an
Yes,
applause.
yes.
Yes.
You know, I got a DM about it as well.
"You were so charming, it restored my faith in God. Please do more episodes of Cougarlicious. Sincerely, JN from Las Vegas, Nevada." Do you know who JN from Las Vegas, Nevada is, Julie Nethery? Do you know?
Certainly not me.
Are you sure?
That sounds like something you wrote for yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that means.
Well, the DM I got about it said, "I can't believe that beautiful Donna Joy called Andrew eye candy."
How dare you? How dare you? That was very kind of you.
Oh no.
That
you're
was very
You are totally eye
Thank
candy.
you.
And
Thank
Andrew,
you.
You are totally eye candy.
That's the nicest
Yes.
thing anyone's ever said to me.
My ratings went way up.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes.
I love that. So
It's the promise of Cougarlicious.
I would
Yes.
expect nothing less when I tune into Cougarlicious. I want to see eye candy when I'm watching Cougarlicious.
And they come in all ages.
They
too.
call all
Yeah,
ages.
All ages.
That's
yes.
right. That's right. We don't discriminate on ages here. So how long have you had Cougarlicious Cub House?
The Cougarlicious Cub House started in March of 2025.
Oh, relatively.
Yes.
Same amount
Yeah.
as us. That's great.
Yeah, when 2025 came along,
Yeah.
I said, what else do I want to do with the brand?
Yes.
And I just went, podcast.
Yes.
I think I'll do a podcast.
I love that. Everybody's
and
doing a
that's-
podcast.
Yeah. So, so I ventured out into that, and I've just been having a ball.
It's
I've
so
been
much
having
fun.
a ball with it. It's just, with all the different talents and, comedians and singers and entertainers that we have in this town. I mean, you can't go wrong with it.
No, you really can't. And you do such a good job at making the guest feel welcome. You have, such great questions. You really set up a positive experience for everybody that comes on the show, and then for anybody at home, it's a fun show to watch.
Yeah,
It's
I
informative.
enjoy conversation.
Yes.
I enjoy conversation with people, and I think it's kind of a lost art, because we're so used to texting and Instagramming and things like this. It's like when you ask a question, you get an answer, and then you can elaborate on it. Hello, it's called conversation. So
The art of conversation
Yes.
is dying, unfortunately. Face-to-face conversation is dying. And that's such a disappointment because you can learn so much. You can create such unique experiences. You can have podcasts like this. You can do so much and learn so much and share so much with just
Right.
a face-to-face conversation.
Well, when you are face-to-face with a person, it's more than just what's coming out of their mouth. You can see their pphysical reaction. You can see their facial features, and so a lot of that is what is subliminally cued. That causes your response and your reaction to people. So you can see, where people, as opposed to, like I said, a text or, I remember when text first came out, it was like, what is this? It was like, okay, click, okay, click. It was like, having a phone conversation, just going, hello, hang up.
Yeah, so much easier.
It's like, but, we all progress along with the technology. But, face-to-face to me is still the most important form of communication. Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree. So you said you had the Cougarlicious brand before you started the podcast.
Right.
Other than the fact that you just wanted to have a podcast because you wanted to take the next step in whatever the Cougarlicious journey is, what was the strategy or the reasoning behind starting the podcast?
Well, it's really, again, it's an ever-evolving story. I was doing my stand-up. And this is going back like maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Sure.
And I was doing stand-up, and of course I focus on, women standing in their power and really celebrating themselves, celebrating who they are. And I really encourage women to do that. So I kind of coined the phrase in my stand-up, Cougarlicious. And after many of my shows, women would come up to me, women of all ages, excuse me, and they'd say to me, you're saying exactly what I'm thinking. And I could see it in the audience. I could see the women's responses and things. So again, having a background in marketing and advertising, I'm saying, I'm scratching an itch here. So I started to develop it a little bit further, then develop the website, then develop merchandise, then develop, this type of thing. And I said, the podcast was just a natural extension of that. So it all started in stand-up and actually getting direct feedback from the audience.
It's fun to build the brand like that. It's fun to turn it from something you either just thought of or you spoke out loud, and now it's a thing. Now you can go to a website. Now you can listen to it. Now you can watch it.
Yeah, and I get very excited too because I just love supporting women.
Yes.
I love supporting their efforts. I've grown out of that whole women's lib era. Okay. I mean, I was part of those marches, burning the bras and
oh, yeah?
that
You're
kind of
burning the
stuff.
bras?
Oh, you got it. But I was. I was like up front and center. And really, really always advocated for women's liberation and women's rights. And then, of course, what happened with the Supreme Court, and they started to eradicate women's rights. I'm going like, this is not good. And women really need support more than ever now. And if there's one little way that I can contribute, and one little way I could support, one little way I can give an atta-girl out there, do it.
Hell yeah.
And at the same time, also encourage men.
Sure.
And educate men and let them know, this is an equal playing field, and partnerships is really what really means something. And so it's interesting to be part of that change.
After we shot our episode in your studio, you shared that with me of what your deeper goal was with Cougarlicious, and I wanted to convey that to Julie, but I knew I wasn't going to do it justice. So I'm glad that you were able to elaborate more on that. Julie, how do you feel about that? We were just talking about that today. I feel like
we were, and I mean. Obviously, Andrew knows because I'm very outspoken about women's rights and how I feel about different things going on globally and within the country. So hearing you say that and knowing that's part of your platform, I adore it. I think we need more of that in not only entertainment, but in media in general, especially right now.
Yeah, and I want to kind of deliver it in a fun, friendly, warm fashion.
Something that's digestible for everybody.
Digestible, I like that.
Thank you.
A little side of linguine, you're great.
Julie, are you Italian too?
I am very, very
are
Italian.
You?
Yes, when I watched y'all's episode, I was like, if I was there, it would have just been a room full of Italians.
Yeah,
just a bunch of
big paisans over here. Hey, what's the matter?
That's so funny. So you mentioned the stand-up. How long have you been doing stand-up for?
Well, I actually moved here to Las Vegas in 2018.
Okay.
And my goal at that time was to learn how to write comedy.
Just randomly?
Well, my background in my past lives. I was a copywriter. I was in advertising. I taught copywriting, creative writing, and all of that. So when it came time to retire, I just said to myself, well, what else do I want to do? And I thought, I'd like to learn how to write comedy. And turns out they had a little comedy writing institute here in Las Vegas.
Okay.
That I found online. And I thought, oh, that's interesting, and connected. And Don Barnhart is the fellow who ran the institute. Then I just started looking at real estate and looking at the values, because I was in San Diego.
Sure.
And it was a good time to sell in San Diego. So I did. I
glad.
cashed in my chips. I hopped the fence.
Good
I
for
came
you.
to Vegas, and I said, okay, I'm going to see where this journey takes
Yeah.
me. And I started taking classes with Don and started learning about the craft of comedy writing. Then Don always hosted different little showcases, and he had a couple of stages that he runs, and he still does. And he would put us up on stage, and one thing led to another, and then that's how I just evolved.
Why?
So since 2018, so if you cancel out 2020,
That doesn't count. Yeah.
we're COVID. What is about maybe 6 years?
Carry the one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah. That's about right. Let's go with that. The art of, obviously conversation, but the art of comedy is always intriguing to me too. When it comes to being funny on stage or writing comedy, what's something that you took away, that's something that just pops into your mind when you look back at learning from, the beginner to where you are now? What's like a key moment for you that was like, oh, that's a great point. I never thought about that with comedy.
Well, I think a key moment in comedy, in any comic's life or delivery, is finding your voice. I think that's the biggest challenge in comedy, because when you first get started, you get on stage and it's you, a mic, and an audience.
Right.
I mean, there's no script, there's no, you're not doing a character, okay, unless that's part of your comedy, but still, a true, the most successful comics are the ones who are the most authentic.
Okay.
And that comes from being comfortable with who you are and what you have to say and the voice in which you want to say it. And then once you understand that, and it takes a while to develop that, it's not just getting up there and just telling a joke, hey, hey, two men walked into a bar, this kind of thing. But what is it that you want to say? How can you cultivate that into a funny perspective? Or is it a funny perspective, this type of thing? And then delivering it in an authentic fashion. And that's, I think, the key, and there's really no ways you can do it other than getting up and doing it.
Yeah. So tell me about your first time when you were on stage, or your first open mic. What was that like? Was it a success? I mean, I'm sure it was a success.
It was a success.
A success that you got it out of the way. You got it done.
Me.
Come on now. What was going through your mind your first open mic?
The performance aspect of it.
Yeah.
And if you go on my website, I have a video that actually has some segments of some of my original stuff, and I actually am wearing a wig. Because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with my hair. I didn't know. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get a wig, and then this wig is going to define who I am, And it was a redheaded wig. It wasn't a fright wig or anything like Phyllis Diller. It was just a regular wig. But I thought, so every time I go on stage, I'm going to wear that wig, and people will know that's who I am.
That's Donna Joy.
And
There she is. Red wig and all. Red hair and all.
Red hair and all. And, and I mean, the way you dress and all this, and you just basically, so the first time I got on, I was delivering my lines through my character, who I thought I should be, this type of thing. And then after a while, it was like, I don't need this wig. People liked me better without the wig. And I started just showing up natural, and all the comics were even more supportive. They go, well,
fantastic.
that's good. And then you just, do that. So I think the first time I was nervous, and I just did, I think it was 5 minutes, and it was like the longest
Longest
5
5 minutes of your life.
Yes,
I'm
and
sure.
you're just trying to remember your lines, and you're trying to get it out, and
Yeah.
you're trying to deliver it, and you're trying to go, giving the pause so that people will laugh, and then if people don't laugh, what do? You know, this type of thing. So it was now if people don't laugh, I just move on. It's
Yeah.
just like
That's
it
fantastic.
just rolls.
One of the I love having comics on the show. We've had Jarrett Segmiller, who was on
Yes,
your
I
show.
love Jarrett.
Fantastic
Yes.
guy.
Funny guy, very smart.
Very smart.
Smart guy.
Very funny.
And you'll find that most comics are very smart.
Yes.
Very smart, very observant.
Why do you think
Yeah.
that is?
I think in order to have a humorous perspective, you have to be able to take a look at a situation and look at the situation from all angles. And, you know, the positive side, the negative side, upside down, right side up, you know, and everything else, and mush it into something that is funny.
Right.
You know, how do you take a tragedy? I'll give you an example. Dave Chappelle, okay? Love Dave Chappelle. He was on Saturday Night Live one time. And this is when California was having all the fires. And the sketch that they were doing is that they were a family sitting in a living room in California, and they were being told to evacuate because of the fires. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this, I'm saying, how is this going to be funny?
Right.
How are you going to make this funny? Well, he gets up, and the first thing he does is he goes over to the wall and he breaks through the wall and starts pulling out all this money. And the whole scene was just hysterical
Yeah.
after that, because all of a sudden the wife is looking at him like she doesn't know who this guy is, and he's over there telling him about the cartels and then this, that, and the other. It was just hysterical. That's what I mean. I
Yeah.
mean, a genius mind. You know, you could take a look at how do you take this tragedy and how can you make it funny, and
Yeah.
what angle are you going to use? And then a lot of times it's a surprise. If you can surprise the audience with it in a fun, positive way, you know, you've got a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well said.
yeah.
When are you teaching your class at the Institute? That's what I want to know.
Oh, well, I was with the Art Institutes, California, San Diego. I was with them for about 15 years.
Okay.
And I taught advertising,
Yeah.
marketing, public relations, taught creative writing. I taught campaign strategy, you know, things like this. And I did that and then I also continued to teach marketing for a national university.
Okay.
I teach online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah,
you.
so I've been, yeah.
You're on the. You're busy. You're
I
on
have
the move.
fun. I just, you know, and the thing is, you know, staying in the teaching game keeps me relevant.
Yeah.
Keeps me, you know, the courses that we're teaching now is all about digital marketing and things like this, and it keeps me on top of what's really happening. And the interesting thing that I find about marketing and advertising is that although the mediums have changed, you know, the mediums can deliver instant results.
Sure.
Okay, because I started in advertising back in 1983. Okay, so
A little different back then.
a little different.
A little bit.
We thought the fax machine was
The future.
that was the future. That
Yes.
was it. This is great.
You can't top the fax machine.
You can fax the ad to the client.
That's
Oh
right.
my God! You know, this is wonderful.
Julie, do you know what a fax machine is, Julie?
I do know what a fax machine is.
just checking.
In fact, I still remember my childhood home's fax number.
Oh,
Wow.
You should fax it every now. and
Thank
then.
you, Donna.
Yes,
Thank you.
I couldn't
Well done.
tell you that. But so what was I saying?
The mediums may change, but
Yeah, the mediums may change, but the actual principles of marketing and sales and advertising have not. I
Right.
mean, people buy still for the same reasons that they bought 200 years ago. I
Sure.
mean, it's a cost, it's a benefit, you know, and it's basically learning how to deliver that message. You know, now what's happened is that we've become much more heterogeneous as a society. Everything's segmented now. So the challenge is to find that segment and to find that message that matches that segment. Whereas back in the 50s, for instance, everything was like really more homogeneous. It was like one size fits all.
Right.
You know, you either fit or you didn't. You know, it was like nobody cared. You know,
Exactly.
just buy it. Buy the product.
Yeah.
So it's much more challenging today, but I still, the principles still remain the same. And if you can still stay true to that,
Right.
and then just follow your path with that, I think that's what helps with success. It's the same thing with comedy. Who's your niche? Who are you speaking to? Who's your audience? How do you deliver to them? This type of thing.
And then same thing with media in terms of having a podcast. Right? Everybody can have a podcast. While the way you get in front of people may change over time, and it has, but I still feel like you still need to be engaging. You still need to be informative.
Absolutely.
You still need to find the demographic and kind of nurture that and grow with it. Having a podcast and being that we're both in it for just over a year now, what have you found has worked and hasn't worked with having a podcast in terms of getting it out to the people?
The thing that I find as a challenge is you can't really be too slick. Again, you have to maintain that authenticity.
Yes.
And there's, certain concepts that I've tried that just didn't hit because it just didn't resonate as authentic. If you make it if you make like a sweepstakes, for instance, you try to make it too slick, people aren't going to go for it. They're going to say, I don't need that, that type of thing. And I'm finding as I'm evolving with the podcast that the more real I can become, then the more results I get in terms of responses and all that. And again, I think just having the podcast for yourself, for myself, for yourself as well, is you're establishing so much goodwill in the community. And once you establish the goodwill, you establish that trust, and people will continually be engaged, with you. And as long as you honor that trust, you're bound for success.
Well said. I think one of the most used key words in all of our guests that we've had on, ranging from chefs to comedians to local business owners. Julie, do you know the word I'm going to say?
Authenticity.
Authenticity. Almost every guest that comes in, we have a lot of decision makers and a lot of people that make Vegas what it is today on the show. We've been very fortunate with that. One of the most commonly used phrases that almost all of them have said that attribute to their success is being authentic, whether it be the people they work with and they're looking for that authenticity, or the reason they are where they are today is because they finally found that authentic self and conveyed it out to the world.
Yeah, and I think it's also indicative of our times as well, because there's so much that comes at you every single day from the marketing world. Okay, you are marketed from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you go to sleep at night. There are things being thrown at you all the time. So, your brain just kind of like negates a whole lot of stuff. You have to, there was a term we used to call in advertising, say, breaking through the clutter. Okay. And it's true, because you are. Think of how many ads or how many, you turn on your radio. Do you have radio?
Julie, do you have radio? Do you know what that is?
I do have radio. I don't listen to
Do you know
radio.
AM and FM? Did you know
I
there's
do
an
know
AM?
AM and FM.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, you can be bombarded. Yeah. You can, you go online and you have all these pop-ups all the time. And that's one thing that really causes me a little bit of concern, is like you could be reading an article online and all of a sudden you have all these pop-ups that come up, right? You have these algorithms just attacking you all the time. And it's distracting. So, what does that do to the brain waves? When you're trying to concentrate on something, you got this and this and this and this. So I think authenticity is part of the way that you break through that clutter, all right, of just calming down and saying like, yes, this is what, I have to say, and you say, and people will appreciate it. So that's why I'm saying I think it's indicative of the times. I think we're so distracted with so many different things that when you're authentic, you just hit home.
I think you hit the nail on the head. That's spot on. I unfortunately don't think it's going to get any better. I think it's going to continue to get worse, and they're going to have more distractions, and it's going to be more of the algorithm, and you're going to see more of what you want to see, and not necessarily.
Especially with the onset of AI.
Yes.
And what's going on with that? Have
It's
you heard the
wild.
Pope? Even the Pope is coming. Did you hear what the
No,
Pope did?
no.
The Pope has just written, I don't know what you call it. I don't know if this is called a mandate or something like that. But he is encouraging to put a saddle on AI because he sees it as a detriment. If it keeps progressing where it's going, it's going to be a detriment to civilization because after a while, you're not even going to be able to discern what's real and what's not.
I already can't sometimes.
It's tough.
I know.
It's hard.
I know. Do you see some of those shorts that come up on?
It's always the animal videos for me.
The animal?
Where I feel like I can't tell if it's a real animal or not.
It's only going to get better. The fact that we've seen where it was just a few years ago, and like, oh, that's obviously that's fake. But now it's very hard to distinguish, and even in the future, it's going to be even harder. And it's going to be in every industry, every segment, the political side, the entertainment side, the whatever side.
And it's going to be interesting to see what that does to entertainment as well, because a lot of the figures that you see that they come up with, like I've seen. Little segments with doctors, supposed doctors,
Right.
speaking to you. And you sit there and you watch it and you just know this is an AI generated character because if you just watch it for 10 seconds, you could see they're just repeating movements and like pretty robotic, at this stage of the game. But I mean, it's...
Give it time, though. It's going to be harder and harder and harder. And eventually it's...
Well, that's why the Pope is speaking.
Well, I hope the Pope gets
The Pope
gets
is
shit
in
done.
on this. Pope Leo.
Come on, Leo.
Yes.
Make it happen. Make it
love
happen,
that
Pope
guy.
Leo. We love Pope Leo. From Chicago, right? Isn't he?
Chicago.
Yeah.
The Chicago guy.
Did you know that, Julie?
I did know that.
You're knowing a lot of things this episode, more
I
than I
was
thought.
raised Catholic.
All
Of course
right.
I know.
Oh, I know.
All
We're
right.
Italian.
Italian,
You
Catholic.
can't be anything but Catholic.
You got your fax machine number. You got everything.
Were
I
you
do.
raised Catholic too, Andrew?
I was. I was an altar boy.
You were an altar boy.
I was.
That checks out.
Never touched, Julie.
Okay, good. Good. I'm glad you weren't.
Altar boy, a private high school or private school, almost my entire upbringing. And then once I graduated and I kind of went on my own and left the parents, it was kind of more along the lines of, all right, well, now you're free. You don't have to go to church every Sunday. You don't have to pray every night, and it kind of just dwindled away.
Prayed every night.
When I was living at home, absolutely.
Did you
I
really? You said your prayers at what? No, do we have
What
a
was
sound
that?
effect for that? I think that's adorable.
Was that AI?
No, that was all me.
That was all Julie.
adorable?
So funny. You prayed every night.
Every night?
I said the Our Father. I said the Hail Mary.
He went
and
through his whole rosary every night.
I did the rosary once a year.
Yeah, I went to parochial grammar school.
Okay.
Yeah, and then went to public high school.
Sure.
My parents moved to the suburbs and all that good stuff. Yeah. But I was very devout as a little girl. I would go to mass on Saturday mornings.
Oh, really?
I would go and I was hobnobbing with the nuns.
Of course.
Of course. I was always schmoozing.
You're still schmoozing. Donna Joy.
Natural-born schmoozer.
Natural-born schmoozer. Donna
Just
Joy.
show up, get that Eucharist. Yeah, that's right. Get that body of Christ. Yeah.
Look at that. Donna Joy. Always a schmoozer, I tell you. That's why you're so good on stage.
But I understand your journey. After you get away from that, and you start taking a look at other religions. I started taking a look at what the other religions were saying, and it's just like I can remember feeling sorry for anybody who wasn't Catholic because, well, they really don't have the real Jesus. This type.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It was once you kind of lift the blinders up and you are not surrounded by everybody saying and believing the same thing, and you're out in the world where people have different beliefs and different understandings and different experiences, it really does open your eyes a lot more. And I remember the first time that I even questioned anything with the Catholic religion. I remember where I was. It just kind of blew my mind, and I really didn't feel. It was an uncomfortable feeling at first because it was like, this is 19.
You feel like you're betraying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was like, the 18 years of my life, I was raised believing this one way and this one thing.
You prayed every night.
I prayed every night. We had a family priest. We had a priest that was like pretty much, with our family, and he was there at my brother's birth. He was, our priest that we would have over for every holiday. Like, he was somebody very, very important to me. And when I felt this discomfort, I wanted to reach out to him because I wanted to at least get reeled back in, or at least have some sort of sense of, what I'm feeling is normal. And I procrastinated. And I reached out to him. And finally, maybe a year later, I was like, all right, I'm finally going to do it. And I got his number from my mom, and he passed away a month prior. Oh, it was awful.
Oh.
It was such
It's like
heartbreaking
looking for the
thing.
meaning of life.
Exactly. It was right there in front of me. So
And he died.
He passed. Father Neil, I apologize. I miss your Father Neil. That was like a moment. It's like, okay, well, now it's up to me. And I've spoken to other people, but
But I'll tell you the truth. I was very thankful for the foundation that
Yes.
the Catholic religion brought me.
Yes.
Because there was, so many times, that I would encounter people that were a little abstract in their beliefs and things like this, and it gave me something to really hold on to and really think back on, and really gave me pause, and I really think the foundation of that upbringing was positive, but it allowed me to springboard off and see, exactly what Judaism was and Buddhism.
Donna Joy,
Yeah.
well said. What a great way to look at it. Because the foundation, the structure that you're raised with,
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
if you don't fully, it's not as much of a part of your life as it used to be.
Yeah.
You had that structure. You still have that structure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Wow.
it's led me into my own little philosophies of.
Listen, you're blowing my mind right now, Donna Joy. I wasn't expecting this conversation to go to religion and have me have a whole new outlook on life, but here I am. Donna Joy, what the hell's going on here?
I'll tell you a funny story. The one thing that really made me thankful that I had a little bit of religion to fall back on,
Yeah.
God's honest truth, was when The Exorcist came out.
Okay.
When The Exorcist came out, blew me away. I could not sleep.
It scared you that bad?
It scared me to death. I could, and you have to understand, when The Exorcist first came out,
It was a big deal. Yeah.
it was a huge deal.
Sure.
Nobody had ever used those effects before.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they use it in the movie, I mean, people look at it today and they laugh,
Yeah.
because it's so obvious,
Yeah.
how ridiculous it was.
Sure.
But back then, the way it was shot, if you ever do watch the movie again, is they would never give you, usually like in a horror movie, they give you some kind of a lead up.
Right.
You kind of know the monster's coming, this kind of thing, and then the monster shows up. Exorcists, they don't do that.
Okay.
The Exorcist, they'll show a door, and then they'll show her face.
Yeah.
They just, boom, it was like the first shock.
Yeah.
This type of thing. Then her head's twisting and she's spitting things up and she's doing all. Well, I was absolutely so frantic, after I saw that movie because I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep for weeks, And so I finally started to say my prayers.
That's it, huh? That's what it was?
I did.
The Exorcist,
The
bringing religions
Exorcist
together.
got me to say my prayers every night until
so
I
funny.
finally resolved in my mind.
I love it.
That it was only a movie.
Julie, do you know what The Exorcist is?
Oh yeah, I love The Exorcist.
Actually, that I believe, because
I didn't ever watch another horror movie after.
Oh, I'm such a horror movie
Oh
person.
no, I can't do it. I can't do it.
I spent, I hate to admit this, but I spent probably every mass of my childhood waiting for what I used to say snack time because I was so little I didn't realize what the Eucharist really was.
snack time.
I wanted my wafer, I wanted my sip of wine, and afterwards they had donuts next door.
Oh, there you go. That's it. That's snack time.
The body, blood, and donuts of Christ.
Of course.
How about that? So let's get back to the podcast. So
Okay. And Linda Blair.
how about that? Yeah, and Linda Blair. Yeah. You've had some really good, well-informed guests on. Is there a guest that stands out to you that it was just so much fun to have on the mic. I know you've had a lot of fun people on, but is there one particular? And I kind of know what your answer is, but I'm curious if you're going to say it. Of one guest that stands out to you that you've had on your show that hits a home run every time they're on.
Oh, there are a few that do that. But I have to honestly say Seth Robichaud. Just just a talented individual.
He's another local comedian.
Very well. He's a performer.
Performer,
He actually
yes.
He's a comedian, but he also sings and he performs at the Composer's Room, and he does impersonations. He does Liza Minnelli and Judy Garland, and he does all of that. But he's just a fabulous guest because he's very exuberant, very expressive, very engaging.
Sure.
And very entertaining, no matter what he talks about. He's very sharp-witted. So, yeah, I would say Seth stands out. Then I have some good friends. I have, there's, let me see.
You said they were good friends.
Ed Regine, yes. Ed Regine is another guy.
Yeah.
Sal Santiago.
Sal.
Which is a very interesting character because he has his own little shows and stuff that he does around. But he's been in. There's such a range because you have the people who have been in this town for 40 years. The old time entertainers. Okay, I had a fellow on the other day. Louis Cordone. He was doing stand up 40 years ago.
Yep.
And you listen to their stories, and then you listen to what the comics are doing today, and they're completely different dynamics that's going on in the town. So
tell me the difference between, because you've had entertainers who have been in Vegas forever, and you've had Seth, who's definitely up and coming.
Right.
He's we haven't had the pleasure of having him on, but we've had a lot of mutual friends, and I've seen the episodes that he's had with you. He's a very, very extremely talented, very funny. What do you see the differences between performers and entertainers from 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago to the entertainers that are today? What difference in talent or comedy or approach do you see in their styles?
Well, back in the day.
Back in the day. Before Julie.
Yes. You had hotels and casinos that actually hired and actually produced shows, lounge shows. So it really wasn't a matter of trying to get something set up, trying to do an open mic or anything like that. It was part of the entertainment in Las Vegas. Sure. I mean, when you came to Vegas I came to Vegas in the 70s. I mean, I remember Vegas in the 70s. And that's 50 years ago. But
for all you're doing the math at home.
That's 50 years ago. But you expected to go to a lounge show. I mean, the casinos hosted these things. You didn't have any admission. You didn't pay admission. They might have had a 2-drink minimum or something, but they had shows that went on at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock. I remember seeing Red Fox
really
at 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's incredible.
One time. Yeah. In a lounge. So their experience was one where they came to town and they were hired by the hotels because the hotels were all individually owned, or so it was said, that they were. But they were hired. So they were hired entertainment, and they were part of the lure of Las Vegas because there was really no place like Las Vegas at that time in the country. So people would come here and this was it. This was the adult playland,
absolutely.
And everybody got dressed and everybody was schlinking around, It was like, hey, the Rat Pack. And
Donna
all that.
Joy was schmoozing.
Yeah, I was schmoozing.
No doubt. No doubt you were schmoozing.
Yeah. I saw Dean Martin. I saw
That's pretty cool.
Shirley MacLaine.
Cool.
I mean, just all these really great performers. And but I never saw Sinatra.
That's too bad. Or Blue Eyes.
Yeah. But that's what you would do. You would just go into the lounge, you'd sit down, you'd order a couple of drinks, and you'd have a show. That was it. I mean, that was part of the whole greatness about Las Vegas, about living your altered life, okay, an altered life, kind of thing.
And now,
And now it doesn't seem to be that. Now, well, first of all, the hotels don't hire. They don't produce their own shows. They don't have the Follies Bergère. They don't have, Bear Touch of Vegas. They don't have any of the glamorous shows at all anymore. So that is all gone. And it's kind of gone by the wayside of gaming, sports betting, and things like this. So your whole audience is different. You could walk into a casino. I mean, I went to an event. It was a celebration event for a fundraiser that I was part of. And it was at Caesar's Palace.
Okay.
And, of course, I went, and it was a dinner event, and I was dressed, and it was, you're going to Caesar's Palace.
Sure.
It's Caesar's Palace.
It's a big deal.
Right? And I walked in, and you got people in sweats walking. You would never have seen that, in the back in the day.
Back in the day.
And it's a distinctly different attitude. There's a different expectation of Vegas today. It doesn't seem to have the kind of glamour appeal that it did back then.
That's too bad.
It is too bad. It is. And as far as the entertainers are concerned, it really limits the areas in which they could entertain. So, but one of the nice things about it is that you've got a lot of these smaller venues that pop up around the community, smaller clubs and, places that the entertainers can
Showcase
play their music,
and,
sing, do the performances.
Where do you perform right now, by the way?
Right now, I basically kind of house myself in Wise Guys.
Okay.
I've been with Wise Guys for a long time. I was with them at the Arts District and also involved with them down in Town Square. And then I just do a variety of, small shows here and there.
Are the two biggest ones Kimmel's and Wise Guys?
Kimmel's is definitely, I've done, I performed at Kimmel's as well. And then I performed at Delirious, and there was Jokesters,
Okay.
Bonkers, when they were, pretty prevalent and around. But even then, they're a little few and far between now.
Is there a guest story that you've had a lot of great guests on? You listed them, Seth and Louie. Is there any story that any of your guests have shared with you that's really stuck with you? That's really been like, wow, that's a pretty significant story. Good story, bad story, whatever it is.
Good story, bad story.
Surprise us.
Oh, goodness.
I'm putting you on the spot a lot here.
Well, I think listening to people's reasons for getting into comedy or what spurred them on into comedy, as far as a general sense, is that there's usually a need for expression for some reason, whatever might have caused that person to want to express themselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is, well, I'll tell you, with Ed Regine, for instance, great comic, very funny guy. He's been around forever, been around even before my time, okay? Even before me, can you imagine? That's how old he is.
I don't believe it. It's unbelievable.
But, he started out, he was like a horse trainer or something, in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And he just kind of got up and just started, doing his shtick. And then they started booking him and around. I mean, that type of thing, where it came from an unexpected place. But he has a book, and he says in the book that his father was a vaudeville performer. So it kind of rubbed off on him, but it really didn't come out until later, and it really wasn't something that he directed his energy to, but it just happened.
That's funny.
This type of stuff.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. And then I'm going to have another guest that's going to be coming on to the show, which I think is going to be really fun and really interesting, is Meyer Lansky. Now, do you know who Meyer Lansky is?
Is that the son or the grandson?
The grandson.
Really?
Of the Meyer Lansky.
Wow.
Yes. He's He's a fan of mine.
Is he? Hey, he's a fan of Cougarlicious, a fan of Donna Joy. That's going to be exciting.
Yes. No, it is going to be fun. He has a book
Yep.
that's just come out, and it's called The Lansky Legacy.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking about his book.
Oh, that's going to be incredible.
But he's a very interesting character.
When are you going to have him on?
He's going to be on, we're going to be recording that on the 18th
Oh, great.
of June.
Oh, that's going to be a great episode to watch.
So you hear that, Meyer? You're locked into
You're
this
locked
now.
in.
Yeah, I've
There's
been on.
there's
I've
no
been on
backing
that for
out.
a while. But it was, he again, he's a fan. He was a big supporter.
That's awesome.
And I used to perform at the Ahern Hotel, and I was there for a little bit more than a year. And that's how he basically started coming to see my shows.
Sure.
And it was very funny one night. I wasn't performing, but I was there to support another comedian that was performing. And so I was just sitting, by myself, and Meyer comes walking in. And he says, well, come on, sit down with me. I said, okay.
Did you know who he was when that?
I knew who he was.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Meyer, as in the Meyer Lansky,
Yeah.
as in the Meyer Lansky, yeah. Mhm.
That's
Yeah, and
phenomenal.
it really impressed my family back east.
Oh, I'm
though. Oh
sure.
my God, are you telling me?
You
Yeah,
live-
you tell
live in
your
a whole-
Italian family.
whole
Yeah,
different
it's like-
lifestyle out here compared to back east. We're both from back east, and yeah, it's a whole different lifestyle out here. in the West.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, you remember The Godfather? What was it? Hyman Roth, I think, was the character that was played off of the Meyer Lansky.
That's so funny.
But yeah, that's going to be interesting.
That-
I'm sure there's
that'd
going to
be
be a
good.
lot of stories there,
Oh, I'm sure.
or maybe not. I don't know. It
We'll see.
depends.
We'll see. We'll see what he shares. That would be very interesting. We had Jonathan Jossel on, who's the CEO of the Plaza, and he's very close with Mayor Oscar Goodman. And one of the things that he said about Oscar is that he's such a noble, well-respected man that he has so many stories, but he'll never share any of them that will harm anybody in the past.
Right, you don't.
You don't. He's just that much of a well-respected person, and it's such a shame because I'm sure he could fill books on books on books of stories that he's had.
Oh,
that
I'm
he'll never
sure.
share.
Because he actually represented a lot of the members of the.
What a life! What a life! Julie, you know who Mayor Oscar Goodman is,
Of
right?
course I do.
I'm just making sure. I want to make sure that you're aware of who we're talking about. And,
I know, just because I'm new to Vegas doesn't mean I'm oblivious to everything.
okay. You also have Lana Turner coming on.
Lana Turner, yes.
That's gonna be a
Yes,
great
I'm
one.
so excited about that.
So you met her at the screening, right?
I
Here.
did. Yeah, at the What Come What May.
Yes.
is the name of the film, and Ralphie May.
What'd you think of the
was her
doc
husband.
of the documentary?
I thought it was great. I really thought it was great. I thought it was very well crafted because it really allowed you to see and appreciate his comedy and his comic perspective in the very beginning. Okay. And then as the documentary moves on, you start understanding a lot of underlying factors that was driving him. Okay. And again, like I said, in a lot of comedic lives, there is some tragedy that brings them forth, and they turn to comedy as kind of a relief or kind of a release or whatever it is to really, And so the documentary takes you from the comedic world, the funny man, all right, and then it allows you to see the underlying tragedy. And it was a tragedy.
It was.
It really was. It's sad,
It
sad
really, he
hearing
was
about
somebody
it.
that, like, growing up in the, he was early 2000s, I think, or late 90s, that he was on Last Comic Standing and didn't win, but that probably worked out in his favor that he didn't win. He came in second. And so I kind of grew up with his comedy. I was always big into comedy, but I kind of grew up with him. And I never knew the behind the scenes. I never knew the struggle.
Right, you wouldn't
Yeah.
either. You wouldn't. I mean, who knew what went on with Richard Pryor?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Richard Pryor is a great comic, all right? But then when you start to understand what his underlying life was like, you're just going like, how did that happen?
Right.
how did he even get there? How did he even survive that? You know, it's the same thing with Ralphie May. You know, how did he even survive? And
Jay Moore had a great line in that documentary where he said, like, we'll go out, we'll give you 1 hour of the best of me, and then we'll fade into the black, and then that's where, you know, everything else kind of spirals and the struggles happen.
yeah,
and everything
yeah,
like that.
and all of a sudden, you know, the stage becomes that home, that safe place.
Yeah.
You know, and the audience's response. And again, this is getting into live interaction. You know, you can't get that, you know, on a YouTube. You can't get, I mean, and I really experienced that during COVID.
Yeah.
When you try to do comedy, you know, online.
That's
it's like
gotta
you
be tough. How would you even do? Oh,
you don't
gotta be
have
tough.
that. You know, it's like, okay, I said a joke.
Yeah.
Are you laughing? You know, it's like.
You're just you're talking into the camera
Yeah,
and not
yeah.
getting any reaction.
So
back.
when you have a comic that really finds that place on stage as their home, it's a place that they can trust it, and the audience reciprocates, okay, with their laughter and their love and their positive response. You know, that's an interaction that is wonderful. It's a one, and you really kind of get addicted to it. You really
Sure.
want more of it. It's like I said, when women came up to me and said, you know, you're saying what I'm thinking.
Right.
I know I'm connecting.
You're
know,
hitting them,
and that's
yeah.
a great place to be. You know, so even Gilda Radner even would talk about that in a documentary that I saw where she lost her father, I think, when she was young. And to her, whenever she felt the laughter, she felt her father's love, you know, type of thing.
That's
So,
interesting. I bet you $5, Donna, that Julie has no idea who Gilda Radner is.
That one's true.
Yeah.
Julie, are you kidding me?
No, I'm
Julie,
not kidding.
How dare
Gilda
you?
Radner?
I'll do my homework after the show, Donna.
Yeah, you have
Donna
to.
Joy is very
SNL.
disappointed.
She was an icon on the original SNL.
Donna is not mad. She's
Hold on.
just disappointed.
Well, now I have to look up her face.
No, you have to look
have
up
to.
Gilda Radner.
Yes.
She was fabulous.
She was great.
Yeah. Great sketch comedian.
Lana Turner's going to be a great guest here.
Lana Turner,
she's
yes.
going to be,
And she was-
and she's a great comedian too.
Yeah, well, I saw a little bit of her.
Okay.
A little bit of her act.
Yeah.
And she's very funny, very gracious. Again, a very genuine person.
Yes,
You
authentic.
know, all I had to do was just walk up, introduce myself, invite her onto the podcast, and she was all for it.
I love that.
You know, I love that too.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you looked her up, Julie?
I have.
And?
I still don't recognize her.
That's all right.
But
That's all right.
I feel like I would maybe know if I saw her doing her comedy because I know
She did
Gene
a lot of
Wilder very
characters.
Listen,
well,
you're
and
just-
obviously she was married to him at one point.
You're just
so-
digging a hole now, Julie. It's
Oh,
fine.
whatever.
It's fine. So I'm on your website, cougar-licious.com.
Yes.
I'm looking at, you got all sorts of branding, all sorts of products here. You got Cougarlicious mugs, Cougarlicious bags.
Panties.
Tell me about the Cougarlicious panties.
Yes.
Where, Julie was very curious on the Cougarlicious
Yeah, I was
panties.
wondering if we could get some for Andrew.
Do you have any double XL for me?
Well, you know,
Cougarlicious panties.
that's a line that I'm working on. You're Cougarlicious. I mean, you have to have a panty. You have to have a wine glass and a panty. I mean, that seems like that should be the uniform.
I feel like
right
you
there.
also need to add
know?
like a robe.
Pardon me?
I feel like you need to add a robe to it as well.
Cougarlicious
Yes.
robe.
Yeah,
Nice
I think
silk-
that's a great idea.
Silk robe.
Yes, a silk robe would be perfect. And then I generated the phrase "kiss my assets." All right, and that again also came out of my stand-up.
Love that.
Because I talk about not being married and I don't have kids, and you know, people say to me, "Well, good for you. You've got that can-do attitude." And it's like, well, it's really not a can-do attitude. It's more of a kiss my assets attitude, you know?
I like that.
You're never going to get a job if you don't know how to type. Kiss my
my
assets.
assets.
You know, I'm going to have my own secretary.
I love
this
that.
type of thing. But that's,
Yeah.
again, that's who I am.
That's it.
That's always been my attitude.
Yeah.
I didn't care, you know.
That's so funny.
And I have had a teacher tell me I would never get a job if I didn't know how to type. You know what? And till today, I still don't know how to type.
Really?
I still don't know how to type.
That's
I
impressive.
still do the hunt and
You do
peck
the-
on my computer, bro. I'm like a monkey on a keyboard when it comes to typing.
That's pretty funny. Well, you've done well without
That's
knowing how to
right.
type. You've done
That's
very well
right.
without knowing how
There's
to
plenty of people out there who know how to type. I don't need no.
type. Exactly.
Yeah, I'll hire you.
That sounds like a problem for future Donna to worry about. Current Donna doesn't need to worry about it.
Yeah, so no, I've got lots of merchandise
Good.
on there, all
Love
kinds of things that I think ladies would like,
I think so too.
and maybe some men too. Who knows?
Listen, I'm going to buy a pair of Cougarlicious panties.
Yes,
Yes, and I want them autographed by Donna Joy.
I'd be happy. I would be honored.
Thank you. Julie, did you hear that?
I did.
Okay. Well, Donna, this was incredible.
Are we through?
Are we
Are we
I think we're an
done?
hour in.
Yeah,
right?
we're at an hour.
Wow.
See, just like
is
I said on your episode,
amazing.
we talk
We've
and we
had so
just
much
go.
fun.
I know. We have to have you back in the new studio. We'll have you back in the new studio.
Okay, great.
You are, as I mentioned, you are our third to last guest in this old studio. We're counting down the days. We have hopefully a week left here, and so when we're all set up in the new studio, we'll have you back on. Mm-hmm. And we'll
I'd love to.
And I want you to bring the Kiss My Assets panties.
I will.
Yes, please.
Hold
I will
on,
bring, I will.
before-
Yes, I will bring it to you.
What'd you say, Julie?
I was gonna say before you hit that outro music,
I'm not hitting the outro music yet.
your hands on the mouse.
I want to talk about, before we go, I want to talk about Donna Joy and the Cougarlicious Cub House. Where can people find more Cougarlicious Cub House?
Well, it's a YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
so they could go to YouTube at the Cougarlicious Cub House and CUB Cub.
Mm-hmm.
It's a play on club because cubs are what the guys are called on the cougar sites.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I'm called on the Cougar
Yeah,
sites,
yeah,
Julie.
you're a cub.
Yes, I'm a cub, Julie.
Yes. Or real simple, they could just go they could go right onto my website because I carry and they could go to DonnaJoyComedy.com
Donna Joy Comedy.
and get to the website.
Donna Joy Comedy. I am going on the site right now. Let's take a look at this. Donna Joy, Cougarlicious. There she is.
There
Donna
she is.
Joy. Stand up in your
And
power.
you could just go to the TV.
Yes.
You go to the top bar.
And Donna Joy TV.
Yep.
And here
there
you are.
Go. And
I
you
love
can-
it.
You can just link right to the show from there.
love
Makes it a lot easier.
It's so
I
much
think.
easier.
Yeah, I just make it a one-stop shop.
Listen, that's all we need. We don't need all the distractions. We don't need all the pop-ups.
Don't.
We don't need any of that.
Yeah, just press subscribe.
Yes.
Just get to the show and enjoy it.
You do a very good job at every episode doing the like and subscribe. Can you do a like and subscribe for us right now? Your like and subscribe spiel.
Yes, absolutely. Remember, if you
You really just turned it on.
if you want to make sure that you keep up with these episodes and you don't miss a one, be sure to like, share, and subscribe because you really help this channel, and we love you for it.
And
What?
it's free.
And it's free. Yes, Donna Joy.
Oh, and it's free.
And
yes.
it's free, yes. Donna, this was fantastic. Thank you so much. for
Thank
coming.
you,
This
Andrew.
is incredible.
I just can't believe a whole hour's gone by.
We'll have you back.
Okay.
We'll do 2 hours next time. Julie's excited.
And you'll
for
be
that.
back on mine.
And I'll be back on yours. Julie wants to come on too.
I do.
She
I'd love to have
felt
both
very
of you
left
on.
out.
Yes.
She's very left out. Well, this is
I
great.
didn't know.
Julie, any last questions before I hit the outro?
No last
You
questions.
good? All right, well, here's the outro. Well, boys and girls, this is another fun episode. Catch new episodes each week. Like, share, and subscribe. It's free. We love that. And we'll see you next week. Julie, you got any final words before we head out?
Cougarlicious.
We need a Cougarlicious outro.
It's perfect.
Yes, nicely done. We'll see you next week. That was awesome.